Hello everybody, this is Dr. AMRESH'S in DAV Edu Enough Creations is my YouTube channel. First of all, if you have not subscribed, just subscribe my channel. Today we'll start structure of neuron. Before that, we supposed to know what is life. If question arises, what is life? Someone says, the life is something that we are enjoying. No. Life may be defined as the vital force which initiates the organism to live, and this force is produced due to presence of living liquid in our body that is known as protoplasm. So if protoplasm is present in our body, life is substance. So life is the embodiment of all living activities. The activities which we perform to maintain life is known as living activities. So let's start with our body structure. If we go to the minute structure in our body, that is the structural and functional unit of life is known as cell. So many cells are there in our body, and one of them is neuron or the nerve cell, which is the longest cell in our body. It's present in our brain. So somewhere, some research articles said that if number of neurons are more in our brain, then we are more intelligent. So let's start with the structure of neuron today. So you can see this structure. Totally, this structure is differentiated into three different parts. The upper part, the middle part, and the lower part. The upper part is known as cyton, cell body, or the pericardium. This total is known as cyton, cell body, or the pericardium, which contains the middle, the rounded dark structure, which is known as nucleus, and inside the nucleus, nucleolus is present, and around that you can find the small dotted structures are there. These dot-like structures are known as Nizel's granule. And most important is the Nizel's granule content RNP, ribonucleoprotein, which meant for protein synthesis. Besides that, in this cytosol you can find 2 to 6 numbers of outgrowths. These bulging outgrowths you can see here, these are 2 to 6 in number, and these outgrowths are known as dendron. And from the dendron, the branchings are coming off, and these branchings are known as dendrites. When the nerve impulse will transmit from one nerve to the another, then through one dendrite of one neuron, it will transmit to the axon of the another neuron. So let's start with the long involvement you can see here is known as axon. This axon contains different bead-like structures. In the middle of that, it is known as node, and this node is known as node of Van Veer. Node of Van Veer. And between two nodes, we will find the internode. And this node, an internode in this portion, it contains some bodies known as Ski1 bodies, and its covering is known as Ski1 sheath. This covering is Ski1 sheath. And beside this, you will find here the cytoplasm which is present inside this axon is known as axoplasm, and the covering of this axon is known as axolemma. Okay, this is axolemma, this covering, and this cytoplasm is known as exoplasm. And this is the middle portion, and the last portion if we will go, then we will find the branching structures are deriving from this axon. These are known as telodendria or telodendrics, and here the nerve or button-like structures you can find. This is known as synaptic nerve. Through this nerve, this impulse will transmit to the another one. So here, some books it is mentioned that this total portion of this neuron is differentiated into 4 different parts. We have already discussed about cyton or the cell body. This middle part is axon. This is dendron, then dendrites. And the fourth part here, the branching which is side, is known as collateral. Known as collateral. Its structure is there, but function is still under consideration. So one thing is there, that how this impulse are transmitting from this. When the impulse generated here, it will transmit from here to here by two different theories are there. One is Baker's membrane theory and the second one is Hollis saltatory conduction theory. By the Baker's membrane theory, if we go on, then if this impulse will just come here, then we'll see to as the process of diffusion is going on, it will see in through this, through the myelin sheath, and is transferred to this, is coming on. But in the second theory, Hollis saltatory conduction theory is a bit different. Here it will transmit from here to here, it will start jumping, here to here jump, here to here jump. By this jumping and pumping of this, then again it will be transmitting. And here the maximum potential is minus 70 MV, that is millivolt. Okay? And here we will see about how the synapses works now. So here what will happen, this is the process by which this one you can see this arrow, this indicates the way of synaptic transmitter, how the synapse is formed here and how the impulse is just transmitting from here to here. This is axon, this is dendron. Okay, this is of one neuron, this is of another neuron. How this impulse is transmitting? Now, when at the end of this, here that mitochondria is here, and we know mitochondria is the structural and functional unit of energy. As you can say, it is the powerhouse of the cell, as it is providing much amount of energy to the cell for doing different activities. Stop. Okay. So here mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and here what will happen, through this action this impulse will come off, and here it will form the synaptic gap is here, and here on that acetylcholine secretion started here is the chemical, and it acts as the neurotransmitter because it forms the process which is known as electrochemical process, and this acetylcholine secretion starts here, it is called as neurotransmitter, and is transmitting the impulse from this to this side. So through this way, then again it will move to the next neuron. As we know, this is the structure and how this nerve impulse can transmit from dendron of one neuron to the axon of another neuron. After that, we know this total, if we go to this neuron, there are four types are there. One is unipolar, bipolar, pseudo-unipolar and multipolar. So unipolar, one cytone is there, cell body with myelin sheath, and this action is here. Bipolar, both sides you can see here axons are there, and one side is sensory receptor and here axon is there. But pseudo-unipolar, it's looking like unipolar but having pulsing receptor. Multipolar, it's having the many dendrons are there with one axon. If many dendrons are there, then many way transmission of this nerve impulse can be taken place. So that's all for the day. Thank you.